Hello there, you're watching Dukascopy TV, and on a day when around 400,000 Catalonians are expected to join hands in protest against what many there believe is Spanish oppression, today we're examining Spanish bonds, the economy and the ramifications of a Catalonia break-off. Well, joining me on the line is Jose Marton of CMC Markets. Thanks for joining me today, Jose. Spain have issued so-called ultra-long 50-year bonds after its borrowing costs dropped to 4.51% on Tuesday. What does this mean exactly for investors? I mean, would you buy a 50-year bond, for example?
Well, to be honest, at the moment, what's happening in Spain, they are considering to issue this ultra-long, as you were saying, ultra-long 50 years bond. They're also talking about the inflation-linked bonds, but at the moment it's something that they are just talking about. Since, as you said, the borrowing cost dropped quite a bit, and that's basically because of a better perception of the fundamentals in Spain, and also because of the export are doing quite a bit on this perception as a better economy. Also, we heard the government a couple of days ago saying that the cuts were doing quite a fair bit on the Spanish economy, as well as an improvement, and the unemployment forecast that at least they were saying was going to reduce quite a bit. But that's something that is still too early to say. So I'm not too sure if we can't know what's going to happen in 50 years time. It might be that it's quite like in the news, all over the news about Catalonia trying to get the independence. So what will happen then if Catalonia get the independence? Then Spain as a country will be less valuable, so it's really difficult to value.
Spanish bonds have fallen below another peripheral EU country, Italy, which is the first time this has happened in 12 months. How has Spain achieved this, and do you think it can be prolonged?
I think Italy is actually doing a bit more than what Spain is doing. If we actually look at the yields for the last 6 to 8 weeks, in the Spanish yield haven't changed much at all. What's happening is all this political turmoil that's happening in Italy, with Berlusconi in the main focus, is affecting quite a bit at the Italian economy. Obviously, it's increasing the uncertainty over there, and obviously the yields are increasing as well. So, to be honest, I think it's more related to the bad behavior or the increasing behavior of the yields in Italy than what Spain is doing, because, as we said, we haven't moved much for the last 6 to 8 weeks. If that can be prolonged, not really sure. It's again too early to say. Spain, as we know, the internal demand is not picking up enough. We know that we have a good result, good figures because of the holidays period in Spain, but we need to see what's going to happen in the fourth quarter. It's too early now. After the tourist season, if the numbers are still sustainable, we'll be able to be more capable of forecasting and saying that Spain is getting into a recovery, but at the moment it's just too early.
Business interest rates in Spain are still pretty high despite the climb down in Spanish bonds. Small and medium-sized companies are still finding it pretty tough out there. Just how much of an effect is this having on the economy as a whole, and how can the country help to rescue its private sector?
Yeah, it's affecting obviously quite a lot. The Spanish economy, the small and medium-sized companies, is just massive influence. But we have to know that the Spanish banking system is still pretty bad. So the bank system, at least in Spain, is not happy to borrow money because they are trying to clean out their own balance sheet. So these small to medium-sized companies have limited access to funds, and the revenues in the last period has been decreasing quite a lot. So it's really difficult now for them to get in this period for the banks to give money to them, to get to borrow money from the banks. It shouldn't be happening like that because we are in Europe. It's supposed to be like companies in Germany, a small medium-sized company, are paying twice what the Spanish companies are paying. But unfortunately, the Spanish banking system is still really bad, And until the banks clean up their own balance sheets, it will be very difficult to see a translation of funds trickling down to the actual small, medium-sized companies in Spain.
There's another thorny issue here relating to Spain's economy, and that's the political tensions surrounding Catalonia's desire to break away from the country and become an independent state. Today, we'll see an expected 400,000 strong human chain in Catalonia, similar to the one we saw in 1989 in the Baltics during the breakup of the Soviet Union. What could be the result on Spain's economy if Catalonia wins a referendum?
That's a very good question, but very, very difficult to answer. The last polls we got is around 30 to 50% of the population in Catalonia is in favor of the independence. But again, obviously, Catalonia is contributing quite a lot to the Spanish economy, but they also have a massive debt. So not too sure what the consequence for Catalonia will be. As we know, Mariano Rajoy is pushing quite a lot for not to obviously go into a referendum, but and obviously the consequences for Spain will be quite negative. But as I said, really difficult to forecast the consequences if the independence of Catalonia goes ahead.
Okay, sadly that's all we've got time for at the moment. If you enjoyed this interview, click back to see more here on Dukascopy TV. But for now, goodbye.